Hi, Joey.
Hi.
Hey, it's great to see you. You are the founder of Telegraph Hiking Club and a female mountaineer, hiking, backpacking, paddling extravaganza. I wanted to talk to you today. I have a few questions that I'm going to ask you, and thank you for being here with us. So, my first question is, how has your experience backpacking, hiking, mountaineering, rock climbing, paddling changed your body image?
Ooh, how has it changed my body image? I mean, I guess before I got really into mountains, I was a competitive runner. So I did track and cross country, pretty much junior high, high school, and college. So I was already, I guess you can say I always had an athletic build. So definitely regarding body image, I've never had a a traditionally thin or slim body. I've always been what I call a Venus. I've always had that athletic body. So I think the one thing that the mountains have taught me, um, between starting the group over 10 years ago and all my experience in the mountains, strong comes in lots of shapes and sizes. So, it's definitely proven to me that your sex doesn't matter. Your perceived fitness doesn't matter. It's kind of you against the mountain.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree. I feel like it makes you think about what your body can do instead of focusing on what you look like as much.
Yeah, yeah, and it's also too one of the things I love about mountains, and I apologize for the dogs. That is Presley and Phoebe. I am in Southern California visiting my family, looking up at some of my favorite snow-covered peaks, San Gorgonio and San Jacinto.
Ah, I just watched
I
that
could see them
video
from the
today. We did the San
yeah,
Gorgonio 9 Peak Challenge. That was one of my favorite adventures.
that was
Yeah.
a fun one for sure. Um, what was the question again? It
Oh, I
was,
have
oh
another
yeah, I was just,
question.
oh,
So,
okay.
how often do you encounter sexism in the backcountry?
So, okay, in the backcountry, front country often, actually, over the last 15 years. I hike with a lot of my girlfriends, and truth be told, because of it, I pulled back Publix a lot, and I just like to create content and nurture and share warming community, and I'm here as a resource. But it's like we would go out and very, very experienced. And sometimes, if it's something that we would consider small or not a massive experience, we'll do some cut off shorts and some cute shoes and maybe some red lipstick. And I would have men stop me often telling me that I need to be careful and that it's like snowy and I don't know, you might lose the trail. So I have encountered that in the front country quite a bit. If I'm out miles and miles from nothing, where only incredibly experienced people go, I don't experience it. But if I'm somewhere that has more traffic, I experience it a lot. But then when it comes to not just being on the trail, but on the internet, uh, it's littered with misogyny.
Hmm. Yep,
I
agreed.
I actually stopped making a lot of content because I got quite the troll following.
So ridiculous. Bullies, man.
So it
Um,
is so ridiculous.
I wanted to ask you what inspired you to begin exploring the outdoors.
Um, I think I fell into it initially and fell in love. And you see that a lot. You do your first really challenging hike. And so for me, it was Half Dome. I did a trip to Yosemite in my early 20s with my family. And I looked at Half Dome and I was like, huh, wonder how you get up there. And very inexperienced, other than, being a competitive athlete. But I can say that athletics in the mountains don't entirely translate. there's a lot lost in translation between your performance at elevation with the
Mhm.
pack on versus, your performance around a track. And 3 weeks later, I went back to Yosemite and I hiked Half Dome, green as hell, not knowing what I was doing, didn't have enough water, didn't have light, and I succeeded. And I think from that day on, I was an addict. I
Yep.
drank the Kool-Aid. I drank the
Yeah.
Kool-Aid and I went full in, early mistakes and all. We all do them.
What do you love
But
about
that's what
leading other hikers into the wild?
I I really love um, that glimpse when people see what their bodies can do, because I think one of the amazing things about the mountains is the mountains don't care, about you. So it's a lot of mental, and I really like seeing people push through that wall and achieve something, and that kind of overwhelming feeling that you have in the end, that feeling of like gratitude. And it really is something we oftentimes refer to as second kind of fun. When you're in the middle of it, it can be hell, but in the and then when you reflect on it, and in that moment, and when you're on that summit, it's just kind of an overwhelming feeling of joy, success, elation, something that you don't get from running around a track or a 5K or I don't know, basketball game, at least for me. So I really enjoy sharing that passion with other people's, and also sharing the culture. It is its very own unique culture, and I do feel that sometimes you need an assistant to do it right. I don't know if quite
What's
right, but yeah,
what's
there's a
your
lot of
favorite?
people.
Sorry,
Huh?
I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, no, no. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna ask you what was your favorite or most challenging adventure?
A couple. There's been a couple that have been pretty intense. I guess early in my mountains, we would always do high Sierras, big mountains in the summer, and then switch to the coast in the winter. But then as I got more experienced and got really into mountaineering, I really loved tackling those big volcanoes in the winter, climbing glaciers, getting the ice axe out, rope teams. Um, Probably one of my favorites that I actually did with you was Matterhorn, because it was so great to have that experience with a team and have two rope teams and go through that couloir and succeed. And that was an incredibly fun trip. There was no second kind of fun. It was first kind of fun the whole way. But I can say when I climbed Rainier in Washington, that was definitely for me. It was a real challenge. We went really fast. I was on one of the front teams, and it was just amazing to see what your body can do,
Hell yeah.
especially at the top of those mountains.
So proud of you. I wanted to ask how these experiences have shaped your leadership style or your ability to advocate for yourself.
Hmm.
You've always kind of been able to speak up for yourself, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know. I mean, I guess maybe a bit of a pivot. One of the things that I've always loved about the mountains, and yeah, I guess I have always been, girls to the front for sure. But what I love about the mountains is, especially the High Sierra and any of the big mountains, they don't care your sex. They don't care about anything. And and it's a very equalizing factor. Men and women have a lot of the same advantages, disadvantages, maybe a little here, a little there, but whether you're male or female, the mountain doesn't care. And I don't really believe that there is any sex advantage. So that's one of the things that I love. So being on a mountain leadership wise is I feel like a lot of the egos go away, you know. You become a bit primal, and so all you're really focused on is like putting one foot in front of the other, drinking water when you have the opportunity, and then getting some calories in when you have the opportunity. So I think that they are very equalizing. And
Mhm.
regarding leadership, I think that I think it helps to make a good, effective team. You know, when I'm up there, I think it takes the egos out of things and takes the ego out of leadership. And it's really about you and who you're with at that moment in time. And I
Mhm.
don't know if that really answered the question, but
It did.
I think I think that you learn to work together, and then
Yes.
and yeah,
That's actually
yeah,
my
you learn
next question. How do these adventures impact your relationships with other women with whom you hike and mountaineer?
a lot. You know, I've developed some of my strongest relationships, female and male, because I do strongly feel that the mountains pull gender out of the equation,
Hmm.
because I don't think that there is a lot of ego, at least with the people on your team. The ego is, you pass the ego on the trail, and like I said, usually the front country is full of ego. Um, the back country, the ego tends to set aside because you have no time for ego. um you're you're hungry, you're thirsty, you're tired, you can't breathe. This is the big girl. This is Priscilla.
Wow, she looks like a cat.
Yeah, she's a little walrus. so and I apologize, can you reiterate the question again? The
Yeah,
walrus
like,
distracted.
do you feel like hiking, I guess, makes you more uh closer and like stronger relationships with your lady
Yes, yes.
friends?
I can say 100% in my social group, those of us that have spent a lot of time in the backcountry together, it's a very different relationship. You've shared experiences that don't translate, honestly, I think, into the real world. You share experiences, you share moments. It's very, very uh, a primal in a way. You're just out there kind of surviving. You're in your little tent, you're cold as hell, it's below 20 degrees, your eyelashes are freezing, and then you're going to piss.
Fun spiders.
Sun spiders or coolers or exhaustion. It's just it really, I think, builds a much stronger relationships um, with that core group of people. And also, you realize you can do anything,
What
with those
would,
people.
because we always joke about like our summit lipstick and stuff like that, but like unpack that. Like, what is it? Why? I guess I'm trying to say, um, can women be both, right? Can we be, you know, have qualities that are typically associated with femininity or like makeup and things like that, and also
Yeah.
be badasses in the wilderness?
I would love to see a cis man with lipstick on in the backcountry. Honestly, it has function. Your lips get chapped, and all that damages them. That red protects your lips, um, but like, dogs are running in the house right now. But I think that it's fun to be feminine. If that's how you present, it's fun to be feminine, and sometimes you're just doing it for yourself, nobody else. I like to have a beer on a summit with my mountain earrings and my red lipstick, and that's, it's how I present, and how I enjoy presenting, and how I enjoy to spend my time. And if some people have issues with athletes being sexy, that's their problem.
Word.
It's not mine.
Well, Jojo, I love you. Thanks for coming to class today. Oh, I just thought of one last question. What's your mountain or your trail name?
My trail name is Mountain Liar. And as are most trail names, you do not get to choose your own. It is given to you. And I was given that name, oh, maybe 10 years ago now, after a trip when the club was still incredibly active. And, as I mentioned, during the pandemic, we really pulled away. I'm here to be a resource and an advocate. But we had chosen a trip, it was 27 miles in 2 days that ended with about 3,000 foot of gain. And so, as we were in the middle of that on the second day, sometimes you pick a trail when you're drinking, and it seems like an idea at the time. And when we got in that trail in reality, with all the exhaustion, we had just done Clouds Rest and Half Dome as a big group, and we were headed back to Tuolumne Meadows and doing that climb. The team, there was a coup. So and they got pretty upset with me. And in the end, when everybody survived and was joking about it, they called me a mountain liar because I lie about distance and difficulty. I was
You
pretty
do
offended
it.
in the beginning, but huh?
You do it to inspire people to keep going, though, I
Yeah.
think.
But also we all have access to a map. So one of the things I would encourage people that are new to the backcountry is you also need to advocate for yourself and to be aware of where you're going and study the map in advance. That was not on me. That was on everybody else. But I own the name. I own the name. I definitely do push people. And also what's easy for me is easy for other people. So maybe I oversell and over deliver. But yeah, mountain liar because I maybe encourage high distance and high mileage and high elevation. Um, when people are not expecting that. But it's always a great time.
Well, thank you.
Even if, yeah. Well, thank you, everybody. I mean, I hope you all learn to love the mountains and get an opportunity to get out there and find the joy and the peace that they provide
Take a hike.
safely. Take a hike.
Bye, sweetheart.
Bye. I'm gonna go pull some weeds now.